Okay, let's look for right optimized DSO. We completed a error stack and everything, right?
Yeah, error stack we have completed.
Okay.
If
Now
you
the
don't
next.
mind, Kiran, if you don't mind, can you just explain us the error stack DTP once again in coming classes, not
Raj,
today. Not today. In coming classes, we find time.
See the previous
We find time.
classes covering again, it will be difficult. That's the reason we are giving you videos. I hope you understand this because we have a lot of subject to go. Still, we have not even entered into extraction classes. Still, we are in modeling only. Then again, we have a reporting. So too much subject is there. So whatever is covered, you just go through that. If you have doubts, you can come back and ask me. But repeating will be again, it's a time wasting process for me. Because the rest of all the people is simple wait, right? Okay, fine. Hope you understand this. Let's start today. We're going to start about right optimized DSO. Okay. So what is the difference in between standard and right optimized DSO?
The delta mechanism will change.
Delta mechanism will change. How?
Yeah, I forgot.
You forgot. Okay, what is the other major difference?
One part is something the delta thing, and another is something the reporting part.
No, the major thing.
Overwrite.
No.
Only active table.
In detail.
Oh, very good, Sureka. Only active table will be there. That's a major difference.
Yes.
Sorry. Standard DSO contains 3 tables. Okay? But our right optimized DSO contains only active data table. And we use this to handle huge volume of the data. It contains only active data table. This is a definite interview question. Without right optimized DSO, there won't be any kind of VW interviews. They're going to ask, it's like a 1000% sure question this is going to be. They're going to ask you what is the difference when I'm going to use. So why we use this right optimized DSO in which situation? Which situation?
When we have the high volume of data, as you said.
That's only one, but I'm looking for major. The major purpose of right optimized DSO.
Detailed.
No. I'm going to use right optimized DSO for staging.
Yeah, staging purpose.
Just like for PSA, it will be staging because it is going to load data quickly. Because it doesn't have any kind of new data, doesn't require for activation. It has only active data table. It quickly loads the data, huge volume of the data. So I'm going to use as a staging layer just like a PSA. From this, I will connect to standard DSO. You need to give one right answer for this interview question. If they're going to ask you when I'm going to use a right optimized DSO, you need to say that if the data source is not enabled for delta, you can enable the delta at the data source level. If the data source is not enabled for the delta, then I can use for data right optimized DSO. Then from here I can send the data to standard DSO with the delta. From standard DSO part you can create a delta there. From there you can send the data to info queue. From there we'll send the data to we connect, not send the data to, we connect on top of info queue multi-provider. This is a real-time data flow. Right optimized DSO, to standard DSO, to info queue, then top of all the data targets, multi-provider will be there. Most of the time from info queue to multi-provider. From there I will go for reporting. Okay, let's start today. I'm going to show you how to create your right optimized DSO. And I'm going to introduce you a few new transaction codes in this class. Okay, the first one is going to be RSDS. Any idea why we use RSDS? We can create a data source, RSDS. How? Click on create button. You can give the data source ds_td. It is a example 20. Then you can enter your source system. Then you can enter your transaction data as a data source data type. But please remember, I am not selecting, I don't have option to select application component. If I don't have option to select application component, then where this data source will be created? That's a big question. I am creating a data source, that's well and good, but where? You are not specifying under which application component it has to be stored, right? If you create any kind of data sources from this is a transaction code RSDS to create a data source directly. You can see data source repository. Okay, if you don't specify the application component, then what happens is this data source will goes to under, what is the transaction code for data source? What is the transaction code? I'm not getting any answer. RSA 15 transaction code. Can you see this? We have application components here. If you don't specify any application component, it goes to under unassigned nodes. Your data source will be there in case if you create from RSDS from directly. Clear? So now there is the another way of creating data source. This is a normal way. Come here, you can start creating. Where is your 9 p.m. batch? 9 a.m. This is my data source. Right click on it, create data source. Now this data source will be created under this particular component. Okay, because I'm creating on top of this application component. Let's say data source PDEX. Enter this. This is going to be data source for a write optimized DSO. Copy this, paste, extraction. Go here, select your flat files, say transaction data variable, header is to be ignored 1, CSV, comma, proposal, load example data, fields tab, map the fields SMID 11, that's going to be PID 13, then it's going to be V quantity. I got additional units, delete it. It's a V sales, V profit, 0 currency, 0 calde. Once you're done, go to preview tab, read preview data, activate. My data source is ready now for write optimized DSO. Now I'm going to introduce you one more new transaction code that is called RSDODS. RSDODS. If you enter this transaction code, it's going to take you to edit data store object. This transaction code you can use to create a data store object. See, let's say write optimized DSO for example 20. You need to first enter this, click on edit button since we don't have a create button here. When you click on edit button, it's automatically picking up your technical name. Then it's asking, see, nodes not selected here. What does it mean? I have not specified any info area where this data store object is supposed to be created. That's the reason it says nodes not selected. If you remove this and you have to choose a particular info area. So what is my info area? Just go down, look for where is your info area. I think it is my info area. Info area for 9 p.m. classes, right? Okay, select this. Now enter. This is going to write optimized DSO. Now click on create. If you don't select this info area there, again this data store object will be created under unassigned info areas. Fine. Now I got, it is the same again, same structure only, like your standard data store structure. The first thing, expand the settings, click on change button. Let's change to write optimized DSO. Click on OK. Now what I need to do, right click on this semantic key, not semantic key, it's like what? Data fields and key fields. Can you see here? Two things. Right click on it, click on info object direct input, then all your characteristics goes here. SMID 11, then PID 13, then you want to enter, it's going to be 0 cal day. Okay. Then for the data fields, you need to enter all your key figures. V quantity, V price, profit, V sales, all the key figures goes here. Now please observe that it got a technical key. The technical key contains all request ID, package ID, record number. So it will be created automatically generated automatically by the system. Once you've done all these things, now you need to check your settings are properly okay. Click on activate. Once you activate your DSO, I need to check how many tables it has been created in the backend. Then what I need to do, click on extras menu, select information / log / status, click on dictionary / db status. Please observe it contains only active data table. There is no other tables. That's the difference in between other DSOs and write optimized DSOs. Once you're done, click on back. So I have created my data source. So once you're done this, go back your 9 p.m. Okay, where is info provider? IN9AM. Okay, write optimized DSO. Please observe it says write optimized. The icon also has been changed. Standard DSO doesn't have any icon. Direct DSO has a direct DSO icon. See, you can observe the icons as well. Now very simple, right click on it and create a transformation. Say data source ds underscore tdex20 pc. Go back here, check all your things. See, zero record mode automatically added into write optimized DSO. When I activate this, it will be activated. See now, the zero record mode is maintained. Click on continue. So once your transformation is done, now just go back here, select your data source, expand this, right click on it, create info package, info pack for write optimized DSO. Go to the schedule, click on start, click on monitor to check the data, select your load request, click on PSA maintenance, click on continue. The data is there in the info package. Okay, right click on DSO, create DTP, data transfer process, continue. Select it is going to be full, go to execute tab, click on activate, then click on execute button. The data will be loaded into your DSO. Now I got an error message. What is this error message? Expand this, look for this. It says that duplicate red data records detected. What does it mean? By default, write optimized DSO doesn't support duplication records. You need to give this one point as well in interviews. So what does it mean? If there is any duplication records in your flat file, it doesn't support. It will say the duplication record detected. It doesn't load the data. If you click on data administer data target, you can see this. The load become failure and it says 0 records added. What does it mean? It has not completed the loading process. Then what I need to do? Select your load request, click on delete because it's failed. Delete this load request, click on refresh. Now there is no load request. There is no data in the right optimized DSO. Just go back here. Then what I need to do? Select your data targets, select your right optimized DSO, right click on it, click on change or manage. Not manage, you can need to click on change. Delete. Yes, here it is change. When you click on a change, it opens your DSO structure. Expand your settings. Please observe there is an option called allow duplicate data records. You need to check this. And you're going to get a message here. The flag cannot be reset once it is activated. What does it mean? Once you make it is activated, you cannot come back and uncheck this. Now from now onwards, this DSO is going to accept all the duplicate data records. In the future, you don't want to allow them. It is not possible. Once you set, it is a permanent setting. Then if you don't want to allow, you need to delete this and need to create one more. So please make sure you have to be very careful when you come here and check this one. It is not simply coming and checking here. You have to check according to your business requirement. Your business people says that please allow the duplicate records. We can later we can filter that. Then go ahead. Otherwise by default it will be not allowed. Okay, now let me click on OK. Activate again. Go back. Very simple now. Click on refresh. Expand your DTP. Double click on your DTP. Click on execute button. Click on yes. Observe that now I have all greens. No errors. Now click on administer data target. I got 20 records transfer, 20 records added. Now let's check it out how many tables we have. Click on contents. I have only one table called active data table. Click on active data table. Click on execute. I have all my data here. Go back. Select your right optimized DSO. Click on contents. Field selection for output. Select your required fields. Click on execute. Click on execute. The data is loaded to right optimized DSO, which contains only active data table. It doesn't require any activation. The data loaded very quickly. This is all about right optimized DSO. Any questions here?
Okay.
Any questions, guys? Yeah, Sureka, Sudhir, any questions here?
Okay.
Okay, fine. The next topic is going to be delta updating. As of now, we have seen all the examples, last 20 example with full load. Now there is one more option also, delta loading. What is a delta loading?
A kind of update mechanism, which only updates the newer record or change records.
It is not update. It is going to load.
Upload.
This is a loading process, not updating process. It loads only newly created records or updated records or modified records or deleted records. From where? From your data source. Okay, so that should be the same data. Again, I'm telling you, it is not a different data. Don't think that I have two different files. I'll create one for full update, one for delta update. You should have only one data source. You have connected only one data source. Initially, you load full. From tomorrow onwards, that should be delta, whatever the file. If you get one more file, that should be initially full. From next day onwards, it should be delta. Okay, any file, any time, wherever the data you loading, that should be standard. It is only one time. You say that no, there is no more records will get from tomorrow onwards. It is only one time load. Do the full load. But if you say, so we'll be keep getting the records every day. Okay, till today, you're going to load all the data. That will be full. From tomorrow, if you're going to get a new transaction data again, if any new customers comes from tomorrow, if they purchase any products, that is again new data for me. That will be a delta. Clear? So here we're going to work with the delta loading or updating in non-SAP source system. We have one more delta class with the SAP source system. So here I'm going to load a transaction data from flat file to InfoCube via DSO with the delta update. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm loading a transaction data from the flat file to InfoCube, but DSO is there in between. So first the data goes to DSO, then the data goes to InfoCube. Okay. So what is the delta process? The extraction tab, especially in your data source, allows you to configure delta process, the type of access. It is going to let you know. And real-time access you want to set for your data source. So you need to make sure that you need to set up this delta at the data source level. We have delta process fields in the data source. This field describes all of the capabilities of the restrictions of the data in your data sources. For flat files, for SAP BW, there are 3 types of delta process. It's only for flat file, not for source systems, not for SAP R/3, or not for databases. It's only for flat file. I have 3 types of delta. What are those things? Delta only via full upload. This is a default which we were using till now. There are other things. FILO, that's a delta data with after images. FIL1, the delta data with delta images. Let's see what is these things. FILO, delta data with after images. If you select this type of delta method, the data source only sends the records that have a new key figures or characteristic values. Data from this type of data source cannot be loaded directly to InfoCube. So what you need to understand, if you set up this type of delta, it will pick up only newly created records or new key figure values or characteristics values, or I can say newly created records or change records. The value should be different, whatever is there in the BW, whatever is there in the flat file. And one more checkpoint here, I cannot load this type of delta directly to InfoCube. Then what I need to do? First, you need to load this data to DSO. From DSO, then you supply the data to InfoCube. If I select FILO, it takes a newly created records and updated records. The value should be changed. The value should be new, comparing with your BW values and flat file values. Only those values will be picked up. Again, the data should goes to first DSO. From there, it will goes to InfoCube. FIL1, delta data with delta images. In this type, the data source only sends the records with the value changes for the key figures. What does it mean? It picks up only transaction data values, not characteristics, not master data. You need to be very careful here. FILO for both master data and transaction data. If you have a situation where you have a changes only in the transaction data, not in the master data, obviously there won't be changes in the master data on regular basis. Always there will be changes only in the transaction data. Then go for FIL1. Data from this type of data source can be directly loaded to a DSO and InfoCube. There is no restrictions. Either you can load to DSO or to InfoCube directly. So there is no need, no restrictions here. But FILO, there is a restriction. The data should goes to DSO only first. So according to your requirement, you can choose any one of them. Okay. So we're going to check how to load your Delta images and Delta data. Okay. Then we'll see this example in next class. It is a big example. It takes a lot of time. Any other questions?
Kiran, I have something questions regarding the old sessions, not new, not this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I experienced a problem while uploading the data into the InfoCube. Something initially, I uploaded the short text. Okay, for the same data source, for the same info provider. When I want to upload the data with short and medium and long text, it was not updating properly. It was throwing an error. So then I deleted the records, and again I made a full upload. Then it went properly. Means is the same scenario I need to follow, or something a kind of enhancements?
No, you're mixing all the topics here. Initially you said you are not able to load the data into InfoCube. Then again you come back and say, no, 1 second, let me finish. Again you said that I'm loading the text data, short, medium, long text. These are the two different types of data. See, InfoCube, you can load only transaction data. Okay, InfoCube meant for to load only transaction data.
Sorry.
The master data you have to load into info object.
Yeah, sorry. It's a problem. When I saw your error today, so I'm just getting that particular thing. In
very
info
simple. Even you have that one. You are there, Raj. Are you there into this my Facebook page?
Yes, Kiran. In the group, I added na.
You have that the videos, especially for this master data loading. A lot of people confuse. So I have created 3 types of master data: text, attributes, and hierarchies. You can check there. We have very clear instructions step by step.
Okay, Kiran.
Okay.